give me a minute. My bad. You know, you gotta deal with it. I do all my shows live, so what happens is, you know, I get some thoughts in my head. I say, you know what? Let me just hit the button. Boom. Anyway, welcome to TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight. Two of my favorite boxers. Two of them that I would pay for any fight if I could. I would go to all their fights. I would support them, whether they do drugs or not. Carl the Cobra Froch and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. If you haven't heard, Chavez Jr. has been having somewhat of some trouble with his promoter, Bob Arum. Now, what I'm saying is, for example, there was one incident where Chavez Jr. doesn't want Bob Arum talking to his pop or, you know, talking to him directly. He wants Bob Arum, to go through his manager, as he should. Bob Arum is a promoter who just pretty much, he's old, he does whatever he wants. But it's obviously some issues there because Chavez Jr. wanted to fight Gennady Golovkin at 168 pounds. That fight was so close, fans. It was so close, but it was the difference of, here's the numbers I heard. For Chavez Jr. to sign a 2-year contract extension and get $6.6 million for that fight, or no contract extension and only get $2.2 million for that fight. Now, Chavez's contract, his current contract is over in October of 2015, so he still got a nice little chunk of time right there. But he can't seem to get a fight he wants. Now, to be fair, they have been aggressively seeking big fights. You know, they wanted the Andre Ward fight, but Andre Ward is going through some shit with his promoter, so, you know, nobody can really deal with him. Remember, we talked about the Golovkin fight. Most recently, Chavez Sr. Right now, it's August 13, 2014. Chavez Sr. said that Chavez Jr. and Cotto was close to being a done deal. You know, both teams and both sides met and everything. But my thing is, I don't believe they could have came to a deal on the weight. You know, a lot of fans feel, you know, Chavez Jr. ain't making no fucking 160 pounds ain't no more. Like, come on, he's not making 160 pounds no more. And if you get on that scale, he's going to be dead. You know, he gonna have to get high just to maintain his sanity, you know. But if you don't know, Chavez Jr. walks around somewhere between 100 and I'm going to say 90 to 200 pounds. He's been doing a lot better keeping up with his health. It seems as though since the baby's been in his life, you know, an ultimate motivating factor is that he's been more into his craft. And once again, you gotta bear with me. I'm a little under the weather, and I got some cherries left from the Garcia fight. I'm just trying to get, you know, the nutrients. So Chavez Jr. seems to be more disciplined. You know, he did what he had to do against Brian Vera, and more importantly, like you said, on the scales at the weigh-in of the Brian Vera second fight, I made weight. You know, in English, you know, because there was so much issues about, you know, is he focused? Is he going to make weight? It's getting a little warm in here. 72 degrees, that's not controversial enough. You can get it to 61. But if you don't know, let's move on. You got a fighter who is also one of my favorite fighters. I will support anything that he does. Carl the Cobra Froch. 34-2 with 24 knockouts. And let me just run down the resume. You got Jean Pascal, Arthur Abraham, Mikhail Kessler twice, George Groves twice, Andre Durrell. Who else? I know I'm missing somebody. Lucien Boutte. You get what I'm saying with this? The guy, you know, the guy is A-side. It's just that he doesn't have enough American recognition, even though he's fighting all these crazy, you know, fights, all these big name fights. And you're wondering why doesn't enough fans know him? Now, he did get some American notoriety when he knocked out Jermaine Taylor, you know, and the Super 6 tournament didn't do him too good because Andre Ward, well, that was Andre Ward's coming out party, and Andre Ward was having trouble selling himself then and having trouble selling himself now. But Carl Froch, after 2 mandatory fights against George Groves, his #1 contender for his IBF title is James DeGALE. I'm not going to get into him. That's a whole other video, but that's another British fighter. So Carl Froch feels, well, I fought 2 mandatories. He fought George Groves in November of 2013, and then it ended in a controversial 9th round stoppage. So the IBF, after George Groves whinging and whining and being the wanker and all that, after all that, the IBF ordered a rematch, and the rematch happened in May of this year, May the 31st, if I'm correct. So then Carl Froch left no questions, because he put George Groves to sleep. He put him to sleep. There's no questions. There don't need to be a 3rd fight no time soon. He knocked him out the first time. He put him to sleep. So then Froch is like, well, James DeGALE was the #1 contender for the IBF title. And Froch, well, I fought 2 mandatories. I can take whatever fight I want next and take some time off, to be with my family and everything like that. And that's what he's doing now. But see, here's the situation. It's been rumored that Froch wants to retire, or he may retire if he don't get the Chavez Jr. fight. He wants to get the big fights. He said that his ultimate dream, is to fight on American pay-per-view. And I think he's right. He needs to fight on American pay-per-view. And it's a shame, like a guy like Andre Ward, who should be on American pay-per-view, Froch can't get a rematch with him, or don't want it because it just don't make no sense. For one, why take the risk against a guy you already know, that has beat you and most likely can beat you again? And in the post-fight press conference, the post-fight interview after the first fight during the end of the Super 6 tournament, Froch said, like, listen, basically I can't beat him. He's good. So since then he's made his bones everywhere else, fighting all these credible fights, while Andre Ward has only had 2 fights since then. It's crazy, right? Chad Dawson and Edwin Rodriguez. So now you got Carl Froch, who is the king of the 168-pound division. Yes, he is. He is the best fighter. Well, I'm going to say the most marketable, lucrative fighter in the 68-pound division. The man, 900,000 pay-per-view buys with George Groves. What he made like $14 million also during that fight. One of the most successful events, if not the biggest boxing event of 2014, A-side, whether it's overseas or not. You're not going to count Floyd Mayweather's pay-per-view buys as he talks to you about it. If you're watching his fights in Russia, you don't have to pay for pay-per-views, but still, pay-per-view buys mean something. Carl Froch has some bragging rights. So, but will that transfer over to the United States? Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. needs another fight. Arum said earlier this year, I believe at the beginning of the summer, that he wanted Chavez to fight again in September. The Golovkin fight was supposed to happen on July the 12th. That didn't happen. Golovkin was going to take the risk to move up to 168 to fight Chavez Jr., but not move up to 168 to fight Andre Ward for a lot less money, and you're moving up in weight, taking a risk of getting a loss when you want to unify your division before you move up. So I want the fight to happen, but see, I don't know how this Bob Arum thing is working out, and then Chavez Jr. needs to fight. So Froch definitely wants to take off the holidays and not come back until January or February. So that means Chavez Jr. has got to fight in October. And right now we're going on November. Right now we're going on September. It's August 13th right now. So I'm just hoping that it happens. And unless it's Golovkin, again, in the winter, that's going to leave, Carl Froch out. I don't know. I just hope that the fight happens, because Carl Froch obviously does not want to fight James DeGALE right now. I got him beating DeGALE. I ain't gonna lie. I got him beating him, but I don't think that he just doesn't want to fight right now. And I can understand. I know boxers gonna say, oh, he ducking him and all kind of stuff like that, but I can understand that he want to get that big money fight. Why he can't? All boxers are doing it. Why can't the Cobra? But if you don't know, on TstreeT Controversies, it's TstreeT Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live, whether it's over the seas. I cover every episode of All Access, Showtime, HBO 24/7. Excuse me, I had a nosebleed earlier. Ain't that crazy? I have a nosebleed in a minute. But behind the gloves are off. What's that with HBO Face Off? What's that Showtime one that they had with Andre Ward and Froch? Stare Down. That bootleg ass Face Off. But TstreeT Controversy. Oh, go to my Facebook page, Boxing Forum. Everything, links are right below. I gotta get some nutrients.